talked about it a few times, Jari, but just continuing to see that consistency. Is that what kind of was the next thing that you guys were looking for in his development?
Yeah, he's been really, really good for us. Like you said, just a lot of consistency in his play. I thought he played really well the other day, and he's a guy you can rely on. So he's just been super locked in, serious, in the meetings and out there on the field. He's been really good as a communicator too. So I think he's really, really comfortable in the system. He's definitely taking the strides we were looking for.
17 combined snaps for Strigo and Green. What did you make of how they played?
I thought they did a really good job. I thought they gave us the effort, competitiveness that we were looking for. When you go back and watch those plays, there's a lot of plays that guys not staying blocked. And that's what makes a good defensive unit. Guys not staying blocked, right? There's going to be somebody to account for you. Can you whip that block? Can you get to the football? If you hit the ground, get up like it's a hot stove. That type of mentality. They brought that to us out there the other day and did a good job.
How well is Eric playing right now? It seems like over the last few weeks he's made a couple of splashes.
Yeah, he's doing a good job for us. He made some big plays in the game the other day, not just in the pass game, but in the run game. Even some of the rushes that didn't exactly get home, he affected the QB. And he's another guy just from a leadership perspective, what he's brought to some of the younger guys on the team and the message for the defense. I think Eric's been awesome that way. And I really, we appreciate him for the effort that he's given us out on the field and also what he's doing in the building.
What have you kind of learned about Josh Allen since you got here after, your initial impressions watching the tape? What have you learned about him, really, the person?
The person, I just think he cares. He cares about his teammates. He's hyper-competitive, wants to be a great player, and isn't satisfied if he doesn't think his performance is where he wants it to be. So guys like that usually get it to where they want things to go, and he's always working at it. He does extra. If you come to practice, I know you guys are out there for individual, but if you got there early, he'd be out there for a half hour, working rush or working concepts in the run game, that we're trying to get done. And he does a great job of that every day. And he's brought a lot of the younger guys with him doing that extra stuff. And that stuff's starting to pay off for those guys too. So from a leadership perspective, I definitely have learned a lot about him. But he's a super competitive guy.
Juan Thornhill, obviously a ton of experience. What do you kind of like about him and bringing him into your safety room?
Say again, I'm sorry.
Juan Thornhill.
Oh, yeah, Juan, he's great, man. He's been awesome. And obviously anytime you get a guy with a veteran presence and has played a bunch of reps, played a ton of plays in this league, it's really a good feeling to know you got a guy back there that's got a lot of experience, and he's been through a lot of stuff in systems, different systems across the league. So I'm excited to have him here.
The way Arizona uses McBride, how different or similar to the way Bowers is used a couple weeks ago?
Yeah, very similar. He's got all the skill sets of a great receiver, and much like Bowers can accelerate after the catch. So we have to do a great job against him. That's is a point of emphasis. You got to know what their plan is and how they're using them, and we got to have a good feel for where he is every snap because he's really done a tremendous job this year and last year. He's one of the better players at that position in the entire league.
This past Sunday, B.J. Green got flagged for what would have been a sack. Trayvon Walker was flagged against the Texans. Yeah. In the beginning of the season, players talked about how they wanted to have an aggressive identity. How do you coach to keep the aggressive edge, but also try not to get penalized in the game?
Yeah, I think you just got to coach. Somebody has something similar recently, but you just got to coach the fundamentals of that, like, running through the strike zone, right? Trying to get your head to the side, not slamming the quarterback through the ground, all that. I don't think any of that stuff is easy for a defensive player. The game was different when I was playing, so that's stuff that you're constantly looking at and talking to other people about, like how you can do a great job of that and not be penalized, because when you do make a great play, like BJ did the other day, and Trey made a great one the other day against Houston, that's hard, so we got to do a great job of that as coaches, trying to put them in a situation where we don't want to take the aggressiveness away from our guys. That's the bottom line. We want them to go 1,000 miles an hour, and get right up to the point of contact and making sure you're doing it within the rules. That's really my best answer for you.
Is it frustrating, though, because you have those two guys get penalized, but then you have Smoot wraps them up, tries his hardest not to, slam them again?
Yeah, I think it's all part of it. That's tough, but we just got to do a good job coaching it. Smoop did a great job on the rush right there, and did a really good job with his feet and upper body. Got in on one, and those are two right there that we feel like could have came away with in the game also. So it's a tough deal, but we just got to keep them going the way they're going. The way we were going on Sunday, we got to keep that mentality and effort to the quarterback and do a good job getting them down on the ground.
Jaguars set the NFL record last week.
Yeah.
What did you just take away from him, his performance, and what he's kind of brought to their offense?
Yeah, so Jacoby was in Miami my second year there. Really, really bright guy. I mean, he knows what's going on every snap. He can see the defense. He works at it, and obviously started his career up in New England. And he's been well coached ever since. Everywhere he's been pretty successful, and a guy that you can rely on. So really just a good veteran quarterback who knows where to go with the football, and he can get it there quickly. He's still a tough guy to bring down in the pocket because he's a big, strong dude. But, yeah, I think he's done an unbelievable job this year, and really as good as anybody. If you look at it statistically, in the weeks that he's been playing, he's played really, really well. So he's definitely a guy you got to have a plan for. He's done a good job for them.
And then Christian Braswell, obviously you guys always see what he can do in practice, but so much more confidence does it give you now seeing it in game action, see what he can do?
I always had confidence in him because he went to Rutgers, so that's like appreciate you. But yeah, I mean, he spent so much time in Jersey. You figure that would be like a really good thing for him. But he's been awesome. He's really competitive in camp. Everybody on our team loves Braz because he don't say too much, man. He just goes to work. He works hard. He's competitive. I thought he played really, really well the other day. I was happy for him, and happy for our team because I thought he did a great job. He's a great competitor, man. So, yeah, really excited about his performance the other day.
Hey, mentioned New Jersey, Thanksgiving next week. When you were growing up, did that mean playing on Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we always played on Thanksgiving. I grew up, my brothers always played on Thanksgiving. That was like a 10:30 in the morning game. So that was like the whole day. You went to the high school football game, and then you came home, and usually I would rush home. Me and my brother would rush home because Barry Sanders was playing that day, and you didn't get to watch him all the time back then. So we used to race home to watch the Lions game or something. But yeah, I got a lot of memories of that, going to, high school football games and then playing as a player. And then coaching, honestly, when I was a high school coach. So that was, that was a grind because I used to bartend too, and I had to work Wednesday night and then coach the game on Thursday. That was a big night in that business. So, that was a grind. It was like a 1 hour sleep night for me. But yeah, a lot of memories on that football and Thanksgiving.
College kids came home Wednesday.
Oh yeah, it's like a big day of the year. You actually make some money.
Amateur night.
Yeah, amateur night. Yeah. But I was right back to work. Trust me, it was like a 45-minute sleep, and you were coaching the game. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks. Watching from field level during the game, how cool is it watching two get ahead of steam and just invite that kind of contact?
Really cool. Cool to watch all of our running backs run. When he gets going, he can fly, and he's so physical. Like you said, that full head of steam, the contact. Sometimes it almost looks like he's seeking contact the way he runs, but it's awesome when those guys get into a rhythm, and when they got space to work, they can all do special things.
Follow up on that. Him and Travis pretty much an equal carry. Can Liam call the same run for both guys? Are they that similar in what they can do?
I think that they're certainly unique in the sense that they have different skill sets, but they both have the ability to run the runs we're trying to get to. And we wouldn't try to put a guy out there, put a run in the plan that we don't feel confident that suits their skill sets. Both those guys are talented enough to be able to run a wide variety, a diverse set of schemes. So we're going to put runs in that tries to feature those guys' strengths. So it works out fairly well that both those guys have so much ability that they're able to run all those different runs. So yeah, for the most part, absolutely.
Quinn Morris, obviously, had a really impactful game. Just what have you liked about him since you got here? And what does it say about him kind of stepping up to what he did?
Yeah, awesome game. You see the effort and the finish on a lot of the run game, and then he's still a weapon in the pass game, can win his one-on-one matchup sure-handed, and will get extra yards after the catch or even after contact. He's progressed every week, probably every day since we've had him. So it's great to see as things have started to slow down for him mentally, learning the system, learning where to line up, all the different positions he can play, because at tight end, you're not just playing one position. You're playing, when it's 2 tight end set, you're a totally different position. When it's a 3 tight end set, now you're a completely different position. So he's progressed at all those things, and ultimately it culminated in what you guys saw out there on Sunday. But it's cool to see it week to week, day to day, and then it actually come to fruition on a game day. It's been really, really special.
And then Cole Van Lannon going from left guard 1 week to right tackle the next week, just going interior, outside, left, right. Is that one of the hardest things an offensive lineman can do?
Wildly impressive, yeah. For him to go and be able to do that, even to do it at a practice, I think is impressive, let alone to do it and actually do it from a Sunday to the next Sunday. Because not only has he gone outside to inside, tackle to guard, guard to tackle, he's also been taking center reps. So during training camp, he's playing center, guys get banged up, he's in there at center, then he's outside at left tackle, then he's at right guard. Playing side to side and really playing all 5 spots on the line is unbelievably unique. And for him to go out there and do it at that level that he did against a really good opponent, it just speaks volumes to the type of player he is, the way he works, the way he prepares, and all those things.
Is De'Ami a guy that always has his energy right, no matter his circumstances, what he's going through?
De'Ami's been super consistent for us with the effort and the professionalism, the way he works. Like you said, we try to preach for all of our guys, controlling what we can control and kind of trying to limit the outside noise. You're the master of your own energy in that sense. And he has done that at practice. You see him finishing. There were practices earlier weeks. He's got a red jersey on when he's running around and still giving it as much effort as he possibly can, even when he was limited, even when he might not be playing X or at Z, whatever position he's at. He's moving at different spots. He's trying to find his way in the game plan. He's come back from injury, or we got different guys at different spots like we did last week. He's been the same guy every day, which you truly appreciate, not only as a person, but as a coach, because that's a true testament to his preparation and his ability to go out there and execute on Sunday when you have something that he maybe not has got a bunch of reps at doing, or something that he has to do that he didn't get to practice that specific assignment.
What does it say about him that he's still a good teammate, even though he's experienced some turbulence this season?
Well, I think first and foremost, when you get a guy who doesn't have, for anybody, kind of the result that they want, because every player wants to have an unbelievable season and be the best player at their position every single play for every single game. And that's what you love about these guys, because they're so competitive. They're all competitors, and they want to go out there and be the best. Not everybody can be the best or get the ball on every single play. So the same things we talk about for De'Ami or whoever it may be is probably true for the entire offense. That anytime, especially on offense, you get through a season, you're going to get to a certain point of a game, or you're going to get to a certain point of the season where a guy wishes that things had worked out differently. Same thing for the quarterbacks, even though they're playing every single play. But those guys are competitors. And when you're so competitive, it naturally makes you want to say, all right, well, I want to get my shots, my opportunities. But what overrides that for guys like De'Ami and guys like the rest of the guys on our team that you appreciate is their selflessness, how much they care for their teammates. And you see those guys getting so excited when another player is getting a touchdown, when another player is getting a catch, or even when another wideout's getting a great block. And those guys are fired up for those guys. That's so exciting. That's so special to see that camaraderie and their true care and love for their teammates. It's awesome when you say it as a coach, and you want them to do it just innately because they care about going in there and blocking and doing the dirty work and all those things that are underappreciated. But when you see them celebrating their teammates, that's really, really special to see those guys, because it truly shows how much they care, because it's not them. They're not getting the shine, and then they see someone else who's putting a bunch of work excelling.
Seemed like Trevor played pretty well after his interception on Sunday. What have you kind of seen from him this year after those kind of plays, and what does that kind of say about him as a quarterback?
Yeah, those plays are challenging to get over for some guys because they are so impactful. But he's had kind of that what now mindset, not focusing on what can I do the next play or what did I do wrong the last play. Just learning from the past and then living in the present and saying what now, taking each play as its own. It takes a lot of maturity and a special type of mental discipline to be able to do that. And he's been able to do that over some adversity. And then even when things are good, you can't go the other way and go too high after a great play. So he's done a great job approaching each play as its own, each drive as its own, and just living in the present in that regard.
Just how impressive is it to see Calais Campbell kind of still going, the way he is for this one?
I wish I had the words to describe it. To be doing it at his age, at that level too, I don't know. Like I said, I don't have words to describe it. It seems like not human, but he's an unbelievable player, and they got a bunch of guys, really good players up on the front that are playing really well. But yeah, for him to do that at that level, at that age, I mean, I know we talk a lot about the quarterbacks who have done it at that age, and when a quarterback is out there, they're like, wow, it's unbelievable at that age. Look at the quarterback, and he's doing it, rushing, playing the run, doing all these things at a high level in the trenches. I mean, truly speechless on that one.
Grant, you had 2 runs in the last 3 games where you really got it going. 6 straight drives against the Raiders with the scores, and then 4 out of 5 last week. What's going right when you get on those kind of runs? What is the offense doing well?
I think the first key to it is we're playing clean football. And coaches have different ways of saying that, where they say don't beat yourself, or more games are lost than are won. Whatever your version of saying that form of the expression, we're trying to stay out of our own harm's way. When we're able to stay on schedule, when we're playing clean football, we don't have penalties, we don't have turnovers, we don't have missed assignments, the guys are able to execute at a high level. We have enough talent, we have talented guys who can go out there and execute the system, and when they're able to do that, things work, and then they get into a rhythm, and you see those things start to snowball. When you get behind the chains, you're naturally going to lose some of that momentum, lose some of that, and you can never really get into a rhythm.
Trevor talked about using his armband this past Sunday and how it made it just a few seconds quicker to call plays. How do you see that do you think it helped the overall execution of the offense?
I think it helped, certainly. I mean, it's always difficult to establish to what extent it truly helped because there's so many confounding variables there. But I certainly think it helped get things just a little bit quicker, get the plays in a little bit quicker at times for us. It's something he had experience doing and something we had talked about doing for a number of weeks, and I kind of experimented back and forth with. So I'm glad that it worked out well. Certainly the result was good, but I think there were a lot of things that went into that process to making the final result good, and I would like to believe that the wristband was a part of it for those guys.
Hey, Grant, I asked Camp this question, but Thanksgiving next week. When you're growing up in Pennsylvania, did that mean playing on that Thursday?
Unfortunately, the Thanksgiving game in my hometown stopped, by the time I was in high school. But so that was we always go to a high school Thanksgiving game. That wasn't my high school at that point. So you always start the morning with that, and then you get in the yard and start playing. So it's kind of 2 games. And then you get the games on the TV afterwards. So you end up getting, I guess, a full day of football, really, when you break it down like that. But that was certainly a priority. So I'm excited to celebrate a Thanksgiving in Jacksonville and see what it's like. Awesome. Thank you, guys.